This is now the conclusion of the trilateral meeting we've had with Jersey and Guernsey. If I can introduce Senator Ian Gorst, who is the Chief Minister of Jersey, and Deputy Peter Harwood is the Chief Minister of Guernsey. These meetings have intermittently been going on now for a number of years, but not too long ago fell into abeyance. 2 years ago, with all three of us really being fairly new into office, it seemed a good opportunity to revive these meetings, and they have been taking place on a regular basis since, but this is the first time we've had one in the Isle of Man. They're really important for the Isle of Man, both to build good relationships between Jersey and Guernsey and the island, but also bearing in mind the pressures we've all been under, very similar pressures from political sources, economic sources. It is absolutely right that we should share our experiences to coordinate our responses to these challenges. We've had a very busy 24 hours. We've had a very successful informal day yesterday discussing a number of issues, and today we have completed the formal part of our discussions. And I think it's fair to say, certainly from the Isle of Man's point of view, it's been a very successful event. We've learnt a lot about each other's positions and helped to develop the relationship between the three islands to a level I think is the best it's been for a great many years, if not ever before. So the agenda, very briefly, has covered a number of issues. It's covered banking reform, because obviously we are all involved with the discussions in relation to the Vickers Review, beneficial ownership, and a variety of issues relating to how the three island governments respond to the various pressures we're under in terms of restructuring and the broader demographic challenges which face us all. So we've had, as I say, very productive discussions on this, and we're very satisfied with the outcome. And if I could perhaps hand over to Ian first, if you'd like to comment on your experience.
Yes, I just want to reiterate what Chief Minister Bell has said there. These meetings are extremely important. The challenges that we face within our island and internationally are common, and I think it's more and more important that we take a unified position, certainly on international issues, and we've done that over the last couple of years in our response to FATCAs, in our response to the G8, and today we've been considering our response to the Vickers banking bill and how we need to work and continue to present a unified position there. I've got to say this is my first visit to the Isle of Man, and I've been delighted by the warmth of the welcome that the Chief Minister and the officials have given. Particularly delighted that the weather here is far better than it is in the Channel Islands over the last 2 days. So that's been I think we've been seeing the island in a very good light, and we've felt a home from home welcome. So there's been important business, but equally it's important to build the relationship between the three Chief Ministers as well. So thank you, Allan, for your welcome.
Now, I just also echo Senator Gorst's comments. I mean, the hospitality we've enjoyed has been excellent. But actually, having said that, even over an informal dinner last night, there was very useful discussion. I mean, both Chief Minister Allan and Senator Ian Gorst have given you the brief agenda. What has been interesting, particularly I think today, is widening the agenda away from the purely international matters, which we have been working very closely with, but to identify other common shared experiences, particularly in the social field. I mean, we are island communities. We can't always look at the UK model as being the model that should apply. And that, I think, will be an important feature of our agendas going forward. How we can address some of the social problems that the three communities face, how we deal with that, and sharing experiences of that. And that, I think, will be an important aspect of our agenda going forward. But I would also like to say, I think it's a great pleasure to work very closely with both Senator Gorst and Chief Minister Allan Bell. We have built up a very good personal relationship, and hopefully the foundation we have established over our period will continue, because it is important that Crown Dependencies, we work together, we cooperate.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
is it perhaps time for a confederation of some sort, between an official linking between the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man?
well, we haven't spoken about official linking with the Isle of Man yet, but I'm sure Mr. Gorst will be very happy to give his views on federation in the Channel Islands.
It's no secret that I've spoken on a number of occasions about wanting to strengthen the relationship, certainly in the Channel Islands. I don't think it doesn't make quite as much sense to include the Isle of Man in that. Or having said that, we do need to continue to work closely together. We know that as the Jersey and Guernsey, as soon as we leave our shores, in London we're perhaps better understood, but certainly once we get into Europe, we are seen as the Channel Islands, and senior politicians even in London say that when we represent ourselves together as the Channel Islands, we are greater than the sum of our parts. But we've got a long history of being independent islands, and therefore we know that it's a long process. We need to take people with us, but it is right that politicians should think about these things. Largely on the international arena, actually we're working to that model anyway. It's just that there's no official structure underlying it.
I agree. I mean, I think we're a long way off from having a confederation. I know Senator Gorst and I have discussed, Jersey and Guernsey, but I mean, in Guernsey we actually have an interesting situation because we have a federation with Alderney, which is the northernmost island within the Channel Islands, and we have to work hard to maintain that relationship and make that relationship work. I think it's a slow progress. I mean, 20, 30 years' time, who knows? But I think at the moment, it's building up these relationships, it's working, identifying where we have common areas of concern, particularly in the international field, and Brussels and Europe is another area where I think where the Crown Dependencies need to work very closely together.
I think whatever the outcome of the development of the relationship between Jersey and Guernsey, the Isle of Man will continue to work very closely with both those islands. We have so much in common, so many common challenges in the time ahead, that whatever political structures may underpin the three islands, that working relationship, that core relationship has to remain strong and constant, and we, I think, would expect to see more regular meetings of this nature in the future to jointly work together to find solutions to these common problems.